In this week's hive inspection, I'm showing my weak hive. This hive has been queenless almost the whole time I got it, and I've given it several frames of freshly laid eggs in hopes to make a queen, but you can see that they haven't really done very much. There's only bees on the middle section of the hive because only about 4 frames even have any amount of wax or honeycomb or brood comb on it. And those little sheets are from last week's inspection. It doesn't look like they've made any more comb since last week. And just looking at each individual frame, I don't really see any queen cells being made yet, so we'll see. And you can also see on this last frame, they're having a hard time building up any sort of comb, and you can see this cup is empty, so no queen here. Now, looking at my next poppin' hive, it looks like we're going through a season of dearth right now, which is pretty normal for mid-July and August in the south. You can see there's a lot of honey in this particular frame, but I can tell by weight that the honey supers have had a lot of honey taken out by the bees, which is pretty expected at this time. And you can see this next frame of honey, a lot of it's capped, which is that lighter yellow stuff. And the honey here looks darker, but that's just because the foundation of this particular frame is black. Most of my foundations are black or yellow or white. And you can see this frame is the frame that I extracted honey from last week. You could tell the bees cleaned it up really nicely. There's no honey in here right now, but they've completely fixed all the honeycomb cells. And you can see those little ridges and texture. That's just from the extractor, but the bees have done a really good job fixing this up. The rest of the super inspections that I'm doing this week are pretty minimal. There's not a lot of honey going on right now because of the dearth, and so I'm just checking a few frames here and there. And I'm not really seeing anything too interesting, but everything looks pretty good as normal. There's a lot of bees going on, so this amount of boxes is appropriate, I believe, just because while there might not be a lot of honey, there's still a lot of bees who inhabit these boxes, and they're constantly working on either cleaning the hive or maintaining any pests that might come in. So at this time, while I'm still conscious about how many boxes I provide to the bees, this seems to be a good number, at least at this time of the season. Now, this is a close-up, and it's hard to tell what's going on, but this is the frame that I gave some sheets of beeswax to last week, and I can tell up close that they've actually completely integrated that sheet into the foundation, so I have high hopes that they're going to actually build up on that at this time. Next, I'm examining every frame, seeing what's going on, and I'm seeing a lot of really nice brood laying patterns, as well as some little cups. I've got a close-up here and there on those 2 cups on this one frame, which off camera I just scraped off. Scraping off cups is not necessary, but as a beekeeper, that's something I do just to make sure I'm not having any surprises. And you can see me scraping off some. They ended up being drone cells, but to me they kind of look like maybe queen supersedure cells that I missed, but after scraping them, I did realize those were just drone cells. On this next frame of brood, it's got a really nice laying pattern, and you can see I've got these 2 queen cups that are completely empty, but I went ahead and scraped them off just for maintaining my hive and making sure that I'm on top of that for my weekly inspection. Now, over here on this frame, it's just another really lovely frame of a really good laying pattern of brood. You can see some pollen stacked in some of the empty cells. Nothing too much going on here, but just another lovely frame of brood. And now I thought it'd be kind of interesting not to shake off the bees because there's not too much going on this frame. And I just wanted to give you a close-up of what it looks like when there's just a lot of bees on a frame. And now in this next frame that's coming up, I actually found the queen, so let's see if you can spot the queen. I've got her in frame, but towards the end, I think you should be able to see her pretty clearly. And that's a very exciting thing to actually see your queen. You don't always see them every inspection, but if you see freshly laid eggs, you know she's there. And I put the frame back pretty carefully just to make sure I don't roll the queen. And because of where the queen was located, I opted not to look at this last frame for this particular hive inspection for the week.